All right. Now we'd like to bring up Ralph Wolf, who's going to from Jersey Coast Appliance, who's going to talk about marketing your service business. Ralph.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? Come on. You guys got to work with me here, all right? It's lonely. It's lonely up here. So just give you a brief history of me, and here I am today. Today what I want to do is talk about some conceptions of marketing. Unlike the two gentlemen that came up prior, I use a lot of PowerPoint stuff, okay? Well, mainly because I use videos, PowerPoint, mainly because I don't really like to talk a whole lot. So that kind of takes the place of it. I've been in business for 36 years. I've owned Jersey Coast Appliance for that amount of time. We do a lot of things at Jersey Coast. We sell, and we service. We do appliances, heating, air conditioning, and all the good stuff that goes with it. So that's my pitch on my company. And I'll tell you, out of everyone in this room, I have probably thrown away more money on bad marketing, bad advertising in the 36 years. So I think that's what makes me the expert. I think that's why SCORE invited me to come here, because I just love to throw money away. Marketing has a lot of facets to it. How many people here know about the Pope? So, you know about the Pope? So there was this salesman who worked for KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. He got an audience with the Pope, and he said, hey, Pope, how about if we change the Lord's Prayer? He said, change it to give us our daily chicken instead of give us our daily bread. Pope says, why would I do that? And he said, well, I'm going to give you $1 million if you do that. The Pope said, nah, I can't change the Lord's Prayer. 2 weeks later, he comes back and he says, Pope, I'm going to give you $10 million if you change the Lord's Prayer and put in, give us our daily chicken. Pope said, nope, can't do it. Last try, a week after that, the salesman comes back. He says, my last offer, I'm going to give you $20 million. The Pope finally accepted. The next day, he had a meeting with his staff. And he says, I've got good news and I got bad news. The good news is we just received a check for $20 million. The bad news is we lost the Wonder Bread account. Hey, come on. That's the best that I have. Okay, so they're going to cut me off with the hook real quick. So let's get started here. Okay, our learning objectives today is going to be to define marketing, if you can define marketing. I don't know if you can, but we're going to try. And we're going to differentiate between the service and product type of marketing. Now, Glenn did a great job, excuse me, in explaining the 4 Ps of marketing. However, there's 2 Ps of marketing that I really want to concentrate on as we go forward. And then at the end of the session, we're going to talk about some research tools. Okay, so you like that, huh? You like my PowerPoint? I like it. All right. Marketing. There we go. Marketing is the process of planning and executing conception, pricing, and services to create exchanges that satisfy the customer and the organization, because it's got to be like a win-win. And yeah, folks, you can write down notes and everything, but if anyone emails me, I'll be happy to send you this presentation so you don't have to really jot everything down. Not that anything that I'm going to say is really worth writing, okay, but okay, so well, we talked about what the process is. What is it? I think it's like blah, 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 okay? How many people here are entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Come on, when you think about it, you're entrepreneurs, right? So How many people here get advice from mom, dad, husband, right? Okay. Anybody in the family, cousins. This is a great place to get advice from people who have actually experienced those kinds of things out there. SCORE is an awesome program. But really, the definition of marketing, because there are so many different definitions, the definition of marketing is what you really think it is, providing you understand the concepts. Okay? Okay, the process here, the concept of marketing is that the marketing is the process of linking the producers or the suppliers of a product or service with customers, both existing and potential. But don't forget, in order to be a working business here and stay in business for as long as most of us have, you really have to gain new customers all the time. Did you kind of like the service guy running to the broken washer? Did you get that? Okay, I like it. That's cool. Okay, so marketing concepts. Here we go. The process by which you acquire and retain customers for the purpose of sales. Without sales, we're really not doing what we're supposed to be. The concept is really easy. Your ultimate goal is sales. You're going to like this slide. Anybody know who Peter Drucker is or was? So you marketing guys, you know that guy. And this is one of his famous sayings. Because of the nature of business, it has just two functions and only two. Just two. Marketing is one, innovation is the other. Marketing and innovation make money, and everything else is just a cost. The purpose of business is to create a customer. That's another one of his sayings. I mean, he was pretty good. He knew the business. The aim of marketing is to make selling unnecessary. So if you could do a good job in your overall marketing, selling the product is really unnecessary because it's going to sell for you. And this one I really love. The entrepreneur always searches for change, responds to it, and then exploits its opportunity. Okay. Enough on Peter Drucker. If you ever get a chance to read one of his books, it's awesome. You'll learn a lot more you'll learn from me. Okay. And to prove that point, we're going to talk about innovation, because innovation drives marketing. Innovation is the creation of a new product or service, something that you guys think up, right? Like Jason, putting his school together. That's innovative. That's great. So innovation drives marketing. Marketing drives sales. Sales equal revenue. And revenue equal profits, hopefully. Unless you are a not-for-profit or a non-profit business like mine, because we barely break even every week, Yeah, I know, that wasn't funny. That's really true. What marketing is not? Marketing is not your websites, your advertising, direct mail, flyers, logos. It's part of marketing. And please understand that there's a difference between those 4 Ps that Glenn talked about, which make up the whole mix of marketing, and advertising. Okay, there is a difference, and you got to keep that clear in your head. In itself, these items here is not marketing. It's part of marketing, but in itself, they're not. So what does make up the marketing mix? Well, let's just see.
Marketing concepts in 2 minutes. You see a gorgeous girl at a party, you go up to her and say, "I'm very rich, marry me." That is direct marketing. You are at a party with a bunch of friends and see a gorgeous girl. One of your friends goes up to her and pointing at you says, "He's very rich, marry him." That is advertising. You see a gorgeous girl at a party. You go up to her and get her telephone number. The next day you call and say, "Hi, I'm very rich, marry me." That is telemarketing. You are at a party and see a gorgeous girl. You get up and straighten your tie. You walk up to her and pour her a drink. You open the door of the car for her, pick up her bag after she drops it, offer her a ride, and then say, "By the way, I'm rich. Will you marry me?" That is public relations. You are at a party and see a gorgeous girl. She walks up to you and says, "You are very rich. Can you marry me?" That is brand recognition. You see a gorgeous girl at a party. You go up to her and say, "I'm very rich, marry me." She gives you a nice hard slap on your face. That is customer feedback. You see a gorgeous girl at a party. You go up to her and say, "I am very rich, marry me." And she introduces you to her husband. That is demand and supply gap. You see a gorgeous girl at a party. You go up to her, and before you say anything, another person come and tell her, "I'm rich, will you marry me?" And she goes with them. That is competition eating into your market share. You see a gorgeous girl at a party, you go up to her, and before you say, "I am rich, marry me," your wife arrives. That is restriction for entering new markets.
Okay. It's good? Okay. All right. You know, I like to have a lot of fun at these meetings, so and actually make points, but that was good. So we're here now at the 4 P's of marketing. And again, conceptually, it is this: putting the right product in the right place at the right time at the right place at the right price. It's simple. You just need to create a product that a particular group of people want, put it on sale someplace that those same people visit regularly, and price it at a level that matches the value that they feel that they get out of it. Pretty easy, huh? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the product versus the service, because they're closely aligned, but there is a distinct difference. The product aspect of marketing deals with the specifications of the actual goods and services and how it relates to the end user's needs and wants. We're not going to spend a lot of time on product. How many people here sell products? And how many here provide services? Good, because that's the focus of our presentation today. Okay, so products are often tangible. Their value lies in the ownership and the use and transfer of title takes place. That's the important part right there. When you buy a product, you actually get to keep it. That's the transfer of title. Like, for instance, when you buy a car and they hand you the keys, you've gotten the title, you've gotten the keys to the products. And products differ from service because the products can be standardized, and definitely quality control is possible. Like the new Jeep that I bought that won't go into park. I don't want to. Is anybody here a car dealer? No. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. So products versus services. Now, service is something that's intangible. Acts and deeds cannot be physically processed. Their value lies in the experience, and there is no transfer of title. Jason was pointing out that he gives food to his clients to take home because the restaurant experience is an experience. You can't transfer that. If you call me for us to come out and service your washing machine, you're not getting anything for that. You're servicing the washing machine, and the value of that service then lies in the experience that you've had with our company. Hopefully, anybody use my company? Joe, yeah, thanks. Just one? Was it good? A good experience? Good. Okay. Thanks, because the rest of you should use my company too. I told you I wouldn't advertise my company here today, but I'm lying about that too. All right. So a service is the production of an essentially intangible benefit, either in its own right or as a significant element of a tangible product. So like, for instance, like if you buy a car and you usually will buy a service package, or if you come down to my shop and you buy a $2,000 or $3,000 refrigerator with the Keurig in it, you'll probably want to buy a 5-year service plan because service is expensive. And so you're kind of mingling the two, service and product. Now, quality control cannot be separated from the service provider. Would you all agree about that? Right? You get some guy come to your house to fix your washing machine who is in sandals, cutoffs, shirt tail hanging out. Hopefully it's not one of my guys, but right. So right away your experience is really not there. The quality control is really difficult. Those of you that have field technicians or people that you send out into the field, once they leave your establishment and they're sent out there, you can't control the quality of the service that they offer. You can plan it out, but you cannot control that experience. And I like to think of quality of service as an attitude, and that's why you cannot control that. You can try, but you can't. If you wake up in the morning and you've got a screaming headache because that bottle of wine you drank the night before really wasn't all that good, your quality of your service for that day is probably not going to be what it would have been if you were 100%. And that goes for your sales staff and your technicians out there. Yeah, okay, I'm going to write back. I'm trying to coordinate here. Okay, service as a product. Service is a product at the instant of delivery. A service cannot be centrally produced, inspected, stockpiled, or warehoused. And there's a problem with that. Anybody know what the problem with that is? Because we max out. I mean, I have 9 technicians that do 8 calls a day. If I get 10 calls a day, I can't do them. So we can't stockpile service. We can try to plan for it, but we can't stockpile that. So it's your capacity that you have to plan for. The other thing about service, and I'm sure we've all experienced this on credit cards that have been challenged or checks that bounce, is that once provided, the service cannot be withdrawn or returned. Okay? Okay. Service as a product. The person receiving the service has nothing tangible, and its value depends on their personal experience. We went through that, and I think I'm going to jump right through to the next slide. Forgive me for that. We've already talked about those. Delivery of the service requires human interaction. That is another thing. It's not like a box of Cheerios. You can go out at the supermarket, you pick it off the shelf, you take it home, and you eat it. There's no really interaction with someone else. And that's why a service provider had a very, very difficult time. The buyer and the seller must come in contact in some relatively personal way. And then the receiver's expectations are integral to his or her satisfaction and are largely subjective. Now, I can come out to your house and you will say, hey, Ralph was really great. He did a great job. I could do the same job at your house and you're going to say, I didn't really like that guy. Okay? So the trick then is to create a set of standards that in most cases will be acceptable across the board. Like with my technicians, we tell them, hey, there's 3 things we don't talk about. 1, we don't talk about sex, we don't talk about religion, and we don't talk about politics. And why? Because it always turns into a negative experience with the customers. Okay? So those 3 areas are taboo. Because we don't want the customer to have any negative effects from our service. And trust me, I've been there. I've been out in the field. The customer always wants to talk about politics. No. Sports is okay. The final product should be positive, and what your customers derive out of dealing with you and your services. Your job as a service provider or a retailer, like Glenn and myself, your job is to make your customer feel that they would have to be a complete fool to do business with anyone but you, regardless of the price. That's your job out there. Keep that in mind. Your job is to make the customer feel that they would be a complete fool to do business with anyone but you, regardless of the price. Now, I'm going to skip through some of the pricing considerations because that was pretty much a small part. Knowing your market, like Glenn was saying, doing the research, all that is extremely, extremely important. Knowing your cost competition. But item number 3 down there, knowing your cost of doing business. Wait, how many people here actually know what their cost of doing business is? Great. 1, 2, 3. How do we find that? Why is it important? Well, it's important because how do we know how to price what we're doing? Okay? We may be overcharging, we may be undercharging. If you don't really know what your cost is. I'll tell you what my cost is. And it's not something you just do one time because costs change. You have to constantly do it. My cost to send a technician to your home is $70. I charge $99. And like we were talking, Jason was saying earlier about how small a percentage the business owner actually makes. That's pretty small. All right, people think we're making, you're charging me $100 to come out to the house. Yeah, but it costs me $70 to send that guy out to your house. Okay, we got that cost of doing business. If anyone doesn't understand how to find cost of doing business, we're going to talk a little bit about it now, but I will tell you that anyone here at SCORE could probably show you the formula. It's secret. It's secret. It's secret because nobody likes to do it. Okay. One thing to keep in mind is cost or negative effects that customers must bear in order to do business with you, and that's your price. That's a negative effect for the customer. And as we all know in marketing, and we really don't want any negative effects on our customers. It has to be a positive experience from the time that they call you or see you until the time that you're done. All the way through, positive. But there is one negative, you can't get rid of that, and that is they finally have to pay you. All right, and again, that's why you have to make them feel like they would be a fool to do business with anybody but you. Okay? And how do you do that? Giving great service. Your true cost of doing business, it's really, really important. And some of the factors that factor into it, how many people here factor productivity into their cost of doing business? Okay. Awesome. Okay. How about burden ratio? 1? Okay. So burden ratio is the burden that your employees have to share in order for you to break even. You have to factor that in because it goes hand in hand with your productivity. And again, that bottle of wine, that bottle of wine gets you every time you have an employee that comes in dragging his butt and he doesn't feel like working. So instead of giving you 100%, he gives you 50%. So your productivity rate for that day just is shot. And again, what is your desired profit margin? And one thing that most of us do forget is what's our return on investment? Because you guys sunk a ton of money into your business and you continue to sink money into your business. And if you were to put that money in a bank or a savings account or invest it, not in stocks, you expecting a return on investment, right? So you have to factor that into your cost of doing business. Some other time we could do something on cost of doing business. I'll skip right over that, okay? But I just felt that that was really kind of important. Again, we're going to skip through some of the pricing processes because Glenn did such a great job with that, okay? We can talk about that process later, but know that it's a process. And this is where we all come down to promotion. Promotion refers, there's another blah, 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 I think. Promotion refers to raising the customer's awareness of a product or brand, generating sales, and creating brand loyalty. It is one of the 4 basic elements of marketing, which include the 4 P's: price, product, promotion, and place. So we're going to concentrate more on this. I'm going to give you a tip. To cause the customer to willingly give you their attention, you must offer them a thought more interesting than the thought that is currently occupying their mind. All right? So you listen to the radio all day long and you get bombarded with all this stuff out there. I'll tell you, the mind of the customer is a glorious thing. Every waking moment is scanning the horizon for things of interest. The common is ignored. The unusual and the intriguing is recognized immediately, like our friend the purple cow. So imagine driving down the country road and seeing a herd of cows, and they're all brown and white spots, and then all of a sudden you come up with to a purple cow. And what do you think happens? You stop the car, you get out, right? Because, hey, it's remarkable, a purple cow. Right? So you take notice to that. And by the way, the word remarkable means something to remark about. And that's what you want your customers to do, because that word of mouth advertising is the best form. It's the cheapest form. And it could break you too if it goes the wrong way. The purple cow. And I would encourage you, there is a video on YouTube by Seth Godin, and it's called Sliced Bread. Do write that down. It's a rather long 30-minute video, but it's great, and you'll see the purple cow. Okay. So we're talking about advertising, and advertising may be described, remember this one, as the science of arresting the human intelligence long enough to get money from it. Do we agree with that one? Okay. Advertising may be described as the science of arresting the human intelligence long enough to get money from it. I thought you guys would laugh at that one, you know? But no. It is a form of communications because it's going to attract the customer to you and your product. It'll induce interest and hopefully activate. We're negotiating over here on time, okay? He puts up 2, I put up 5. We've settled at 4. You think you have a great product? Well, guess what? No one's going to know about it unless you get out there and advertise. So advertising considerations is defining your market, then your target area, your target customer. And the one thing I do want to point out, because most of you guys know this stuff, that if you plan to go on a very large advertising campaign, do a small test first to see what your return is. Because quite frankly, it could be a bust, or it could be like one of those things where you just don't have the capacity to handle all the business. So do a small test of it first and see how that works out before you spend all that money that I spent. Okay? All right. And things like email marketing, all these things, you guys all know what this is. But there was one thing that I think a lot of people overlook. your on-hold message. How many people here have an on-hold message? If you don't, you should get one, okay? Because you put people on hold, you want to talk to them while they're on hold. Do a really good one, okay? Your call takers, people that take your calls and answer the phones. Hey, how many times have you ever called a place and said, oh, we're having a wonderful day here. Hey, guess what? Would you like to buy something that I have on sale? So don't forget your call takers as a form of advertising. You're paying them anyway, so you might as well get your word out. Your social marketing, your sales staff, and of course, we go back to word of mouth. Okay, of course, I'm running out of time here, so let's talk about you. It is about you, but I don't mean you. I don't mean you, okay? I mean them, which is really you. You guys follow me? Yeah. Right? Okay. So most ads are about the product or the company that makes it, and they really yield disappointing results. Hey, look, as entrepreneurs, we all have big egos, right? Who doesn't have an ego? Raise your hand. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Okay. We tend to talk incessantly about ourselves, what we do, our products, because we think it's the best, right? No. So the best ads are the way when you talk to the customer and you use the word you, so that engages them and makes them feel that they're part of the promotion that you're sending out. Like this guy, and we talked about the Butterball hotline, okay? This was done by a friend of mine up in New York. It was a postcard that was sent out just before the holidays. Holidays are coming. Is your oven ready? It's a guy sitting there waiting to eat dinner with a turkey that is not. It's all about the customer, okay? And shamelessly, I'll play this. Or not.
Hey Grill Masters, is your old grill on the fritz, flame too high, gas leaking, or it just won't light without a big boom? It may be time to go to Jersey Coast Appliance for a new Weber grill. Now, you may...
Okay, I'll only play a part of it. That's our new grill ad. If you need a grill, come on down. I promise I wouldn't market my company here today, but again, I'm lying. But no, that commercial was about the customer experience. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Engage the customer. The important one is you, not you. You know what I'm saying, but them, okay? And if it's done artfully, the customer's going to remember you. Now, bad advertising is like home movies. In your ads, never point the camera at yourself. Guess what? You're just not that interesting. Well, to the customer. Okay.
We got the boat loaded, we got a cooler full of ice, we got our ultralight rods and reels, and a tackle box full of jigs. All we need is for you to jump aboard and go with us. Wait a minute. I got a kink in my line, a loop. Pull off the bank. All right, I'm going to pull right out here to get it going.
Okay, so just to demonstrate, I love this clip. I could watch it all day long, but we don't have the time, so I'm going to have to cut it off just a little bit short. So place considerations, we talked about that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on place. Just know that you do need to know what your trading area is. And as Glenn pointed out earlier, you have to be able to define your company before you can go forward and know what it is that you want to do or sell. And that's can really be done if you do your elevator pitch. How many people here do elevator pitches? Do you have one? Tom? Okay. Nobody? Oh, we have to do a whole thing on elevator pitches because that would be cool. All right? All right. So the way you go about doing this is to research. Okay? We just opened up a service called Night Owl Service. I promised you I wouldn't market my company here, but again, I'm just bringing it up. Our night owl service is from 4 to, don't write these down because I'm going to give these to you. Okay? Don't bother. I'd rather you watch me. So anyway, the census is really an awesome place, and it's free. You can spend a little time with it. The best one of those websites is the Fact Finder website, because you can pull up instantly detailed information down to the block. Okay, if anyone knows how they separate things with districts and blocks, and the blocks are pretty small. So I have a sheet I'm going to hand out to everyone here. Lastly, your business plan. How many here have a business plan? And I believe that, who talked about that? Jason? Okay, yeah. You got to have a business plan. It's your guidance system. If you don't have a business plan, how the heck do you know where you're going? And then, how you going to know when you get there? Right? You got to sit down. It takes a long time for a business system, or a business, thank you. Yeah. But again, the folks here at SCORE can help you with that. And folks, that's all I have. You know, I really do want to thank you guys, because you've been great and you laughed at my silly jokes, but I do hope that you took something back with you. And I do want to thank SCORE for putting these seminars on. They're really awesome, and you can learn a lot by coming here. It's well worth the investment of your time. Thank you very much.